his 8 foot on his plate.
Don't put that in the
What
paper.
he's really-
Yeah, right, yeah.
Where is it at?
Mitchell.
He probably would have been at that anyway, would have missed this one. Oh, shoot, that's too bad. He's a pretty good golfer. His son is. So, everybody put him on your prayer list.
All right, I've got 6 o'clock. Let's start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll do roll call.
Clark. Fish. Johnson.
Here.
Jorgensen. Cole.
Here.
Steen.
Here.
Mayor Buck.
Here. Look for approval of the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any further discussion at all? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have the minutes from September 15th and September 19th. I'll look for a motion on that.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of claims on page 16 and 17. You've had a chance to look them over.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the claims. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent calendar.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. Any further discussion?
What is the battle of the badges?
Softball tournament.
For first responders.
Yeah. So no kids involved in this one, huh? No kids in it, okay.
Any further discussion? Have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have a wage adjustment for Larry Bixby.
Nope, those were all done with the consent.
They were? Yes, you're right. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, then it moves on to visitors and timed items. This is an opportunity for anybody that would like to visit with the council about anything, whether it's on the agenda or not on the agenda. Just ask that you step up and state your name and address, and we limit it to 5 minutes.
Just that little one.
Tom Zalah, 311 South 2nd Avenue in Brandon. This is concerning the road construction. First of all, the easements that we agreed and signed to have been violated, and the city has trespassed on our land. For that, we would like a couple concessions made. We'd like to do this in a nice, easy way to do it. I've talked to the mayor. He has been reluctant to give me any sufficient answers to the problem. In fact, he told us that we had a real good argument. If we went to court, we'd probably win, and he'd rather do that than do it right the first time. I'm quoting his words, which I was very disappointed in. This morning, they poured our driveway, which we are paying for part of it. David Kuhl was over there this afternoon, and Diana Clark's been over and seen our property and seen the destruction that we had. A lot of it has been talked over with Tammy and the construction company, and a lot of it's going to be replaced. Today, we had to do some more adjustments. There was going to be 18 inches of concrete on one side of our driveway, which would have been a really big expense for the city, and it would have been really distractive to our property. It would have put a heck of a slope on our driveway. Due to my suggestions, we found out that The string lines were wrong in the first place. They did adjust them. We made some adjustments on the height of the driveway and where the slope is for drainage. And I think we're gonna work out pretty good. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to completely regrade our lawn due to the fact, the contractor and the concrete people, didn't want to go any higher. They thought lowering the driveway a little bit would be a lot better and change the slope. So anyway, we're going to have a total re-11 of our yard. We have, and Dave has known about it, a very nice yard. Tammy's seen it. I take really good care of my lawn. I spend a lot of money on it. We put in sod a few years ago. I probably spend $400 or $500 on it every year. I'm really proud that I have one of the best lawns in the city that has been totally destroyed. What do you want sod back? You took sod out, put sod back. It's plain simple and easy. I'm going to sit here and just tell you that the word that starts with N and ends with O, I don't understand. When the city destroys it, you're trespassed. I don't want to go to court. I'd like to settle this right here, maybe at the next council meeting. Let's give you some time next time. We'll discuss it and let the council decide to give us sod or not sod. If you don't decide, we will take you to court, as the mayor says. We're going to win. So why spend the money? We don't want to sue. We don't want to take any civil action. We're good citizens in this community. Kathy's been in that house since 1976, one of the oldest residents in this community. We have taken a lot of pride. People look at our backyard during the summer and say, it's like a beautiful park. We spend hundreds of dollars on flowers and keeping our yard up. We have put a new roof on, we re-sided, we keep up our property, and the city has destroyed it. All I want is justice, sod in, sod out. I went by Mr. Buck's property, and when I saw it, you know, what you're putting down and spraying is weeds. In Mr. Buck's property, that's probably what he expects. It's very bad. Go buy Mr. Buck's property. I don't want that. I want what I had before. We have pride. Mr. Buck apparently doesn't, and he's our mayor. So what I'd like to do is, I don't want to sprayed with weeds. I want sod back, and if you can't come together somewhere in the next week and decide on that amongst yourselves, I want to be on the agenda for next week. I'll bring our attorney if we need to, or you can say no, just bring it up and we'll agree to put it aside. So I guess my 5 minutes are up, and thank you for your time tonight.
Couple things, Tom. I did not tell you that I thought you would win a lawsuit.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I also told you that I thought it would be best.
Sir, don't lie to me.
I thought, don't you lie to me.
Don't lie to me, please.
I also told you that I thought it would be best to wait until it's over, until it's done, and then see what it looks like.
Yes, and I told you right after that, sir,
Okay.
and I wrote it down.
Any other
that
comments from
we would
anybody?
probably have to go to court. And you said we had a really good case that we're probably going to win.
I didn't say
Yes,
that.
you did, sir.
Sir, at this time, we just take public comments. We do not interact with the public at this point because it's not on the agenda. So we really can't respond to you at this point.
You called me a liar, and I disagree with that.
Okay, so we will look into it and see what we can do about it. Okay?
Anything else from anybody? Okay. Anybody else have anything to talk to the council about? In the visitors and timed items? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Anything in the public hearing? Any old business? Committee reports, golf course, the new rates. We've had a chance to look at the spreadsheet.
Yep, I've got a couple spreadsheets for you. One with the proposed rates for 2023, and then one that kind of compares us to other area golf courses for 2022 rates. Obviously, for '23, we'll be looking at some increases. I think there's only one category, our adult weekday, that I haven't proposed an increase. That's probably our least popular pass. I don't know that we sold one this year. So I don't think that needs an increase. It's not a very popular pass, and maybe keeping that low will encourage some sales of that. But everything else, if you added up the projections I have if the numbers stay similar to this year, it'll pretty much exactly cover our expected increases when it comes to labor, fuel, fertilizer, and our supplies. So it's really just a expense adjustment for what we're looking at. Because if you're raising rates at a golf course, can be various reasons. You need to adjust for what your expenses are. The demand is very high, which is where our adjustments have come really the last 2 or 3 years. Demand's gone up. But these are really just driven by what we're expecting for our expenses next year.
So Andrew, what would you attribute the raise in demand? Because I was thinking a few years ago, golf was kind of on the downturn.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, from 2008 till 2020, it definitely took a downturn and then probably got stagnant at some point and got to where it leveled off. This is what it is. Then 2020, especially here, the weather was awesome. We had COVID, so a lot of activities you were unable to do activities with COVID, and I think it drove a lot of people to golf. It was a way to get outside, something to do, and a lot of people have stuck with it. In 2021, we did 4,000 rounds more than we did in 2020 when there's no restrictions. This year, even with construction and a pretty bad spring, we're only about 1,500 rounds below where we were at last year on this date. So it's held pretty steady. I think that's shown in our green fee revenues and our cart rental revenues. Those have been way up the past 3 years. So I think as long as we continue to keep it at least a little bit affordable, it's not like our rates are going up $15, $20 a round. And we continue to do what we're doing from a customer service standpoint, I think it's going to continue to be really strong.
I'm guessing that part of the reason our demand is strong is because of the customer service. So thank you for
It helps,
what you do
yeah.
out there.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm not a miracle worker or magic, but. So I don't know if anyone has any questions on any of those or any of the comparisons.
Okay.
Yep, next meeting I'll have the resolution to vote on, and then we'll get them set and start selling passes for next year.
Just
Okay.
one clarification,
Yeah.
Andrew, just so the public will know. So juniors this year were free, but next year they'll be paying, right?
Yep, so that is the biggest change. I think since 2018, we haven't charged a green fee for juniors. Now they've paid for cart rental fees. That's been a successful program. A lot of people have taken advantage. I think, as a matter of fact, this year, 16 to 18-year-olds spent, as of now, $27,000 on cart rentals. But they have been taking up more of the tee sheet this year, especially. Maybe their etiquette and behavior hasn't been so good this year, and that's part of demand going up too. It's hard to give away essentially X number of tee times when demand is really high. So I think that 27,000 we made on cart rentals will be made up by public adult tee times and juniors still playing. I imagine plenty will still stick with it.
Good job, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Parks and Rec?
Just the work report.
Okay. We've seen the work report. Everybody's had a chance to look at that, so no comments, we just move on. Public safety?
You've got the inspections report for the last month, and then VFW is asking for a parade permit for the Holiday Lights Parade on November 26th. Yes, same route as last time, stage at the high school, go west on Holly and then south on Main.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the holiday light parade by the VFW. Any further discussion?
Real quick, when is Sioux Falls? Is there the same night or are they Friday night? They're always right after?
Yeah.
Okay, good, so it doesn't compete.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Administration?
You've got the communications report.
Yep.
So I had put in this request just to discuss an RFP. It's really Tim's idea, and I'm sorry that he's not able to be here tonight, but in discussing some ideas with him, if we had an opportunity to put out an RFP for this piece of land here, and maybe we could get, some affordable housing in here, then that would allow us to go and buy some land some other place. I'm not really comfortable buying more land when we already own land. We also have the land where the lagoons were, and I don't know if there's anything to be done there. I know there's been discussion about could we do something with the upper level of the clubhouse or the whole clubhouse if Andrew could get by without all of that. So I'm just wondering if, and I don't even know how to do it, but I'm just wondering if we should explore some opportunities of trying to swap out this land for some other land. I personally would not vote for buying other land if this wasn't tagged down and being sold, because I just don't think we need that much land. So I just wanted to open up the discussion, and as I said, it's really Tim's idea, but I kind of was piggybacking off of him.
I'm kind of thinking that we might be a little bit ahead of the process we've got going on. We've got the ISG report coming in, I guess, next month. I would like to, before we, start putting out RFPs or paying money for various studies, I'd like to see where that's at, and then a review of how long it is before, some sort of estimate of how long it is before we'll get to that point where we would be building. I think it's a good idea to consider that if we are going to move somewhere, we should have some sort of an idea of what this property would be worth, or if we're going to build in this property, how we're going to go about it. My personal feeling is that I think it's a little bit too soon to be doing that before we get the information on the ISG.
What's the ISG going to tell us? I can't remember.
We had a meeting with them late last week. They're finalizing up a 3D rendering of the floor plan now, and then they're also working on a cost estimate, ballpark figure. It's not going to be detailed because they're not at that point with the plans, but they'll give us a ballpark figure.
And is that 3D rendering something that could be here or someplace else?
It's designed for here.
Here, okay.
But it could certainly be replicated elsewhere. I think if we were going to move to someplace else, we'd want to tweak it a little bit. There's some constrictions here. One of the things I would like to see if we move to a different location would be a drive-through. We can't do that here. Just the traffic flow doesn't work. Yeah. So we'd have to reconfigure a little bit if we were at a different location, but it could basically be the same building with a couple of twists and turns here and there.
To your point, Dave, I'm okay with putting it off. I just don't want to get it lost and say this is exactly what we're going to do without exploring some other options. So, okay. And my memory is really bad, so somebody else better remember this, okay?
I would agree with that. At least you're crossing it off the slate as a possibility, and RFPs aren't studies in the fact that they're going to cost us money. So I understand what you're saying.
What's it cost for an RFP? I don't have any.
Just staff time to develop it and write the RFP. And at least for this location, I'd probably borrow the one that Sioux Falls did for the railroad property. Something very similar to that. Probably a little more scaled down, but something very similar.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's wait and see, and we just need to figure out what the best options are as we go forward, so.
So we'll wait to see from ISG. We gave them the option of either meeting in November, so it depends on how quick they can get things put together, and we'll have a presentation for you.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Christmas party. Yes, annual Christmas party for staff and council is set for Friday, December 2nd. kind of do our usual from 6 to 9 during that time.
I would encourage everybody to come. It's fun. It's nice to visit with the staff if you don't see them every day.
I'm working on final details yet, but,
Spouses included in that, or is it
Yep.
for council? Okay.
yep,
Kids?
no,
I,
it's a fun night out.
I think, yeah, Dana, let's make sure we invite our city attorney.
Baylor plays Gonzaga that night at the Pentagon, by the way, just so you
There's
know.
TVs.
I'm giving that up.
Is that when they play?
Yeah.
Shoot, I'll be single then. I'll be solo.
Yeah.
You need a motion on
Yes.
Yes.
So moved.
Motion and a second on the Christmas party. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Streets. Work reports on page 32.
We need to be pictured
Yes.
with the,
Last one's leaning.
the green top. Or is that MCWC's?
No, there's a painted already.
And up,
It wasn't last weekend, but it was
it
painted.
is today.
In this picture, it's easier to maintain. It doesn't look so high.
The lesson to be learned here is these guys read the report.
There you go.
Don't be confused.
So, since we're on streets, do we just hand this back off to staff for our gentleman's concerns? How are we handling that?
I requested him to fill out a council request form specifically stating what his concerns were and what actions he wanted the city to specifically take. I talked to him Thursday after the briefing meeting. He couldn't open the form, so I said, just ship me an email with the same stuff. I haven't got it yet. So,
He's right about my lawn doesn't look very good. I
So-
quit watering 5 years ago.
His concern is sod versus seeding, right? I mean, that's one. But, I mean, there's studies that prove that seeded lawns are better.
correct.
I mean,
Are we even supposed to be talking about this at this point?
sorry.
I'll sit down with Tammy and we'll take a look at it. We'll try to reach out to him.
I've already said this by email, but I'm open to having a sit-down meeting with Tom and the contractor and whoever from staff. I think a lot of this could be discussed through.
Okay. Water and sewer? Water meter replacement?
Yes, so we bid out the 4th year of our water meter replacement. It came in a little bit over budget, but not by much. We budgeted $52,400 for it, and they came back with $59,625. We only had one bidder, which is Ferguson Waterworks, and they've done the last 3-year projects, so they've been doing really well for us.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the water replacement, water meter replacement bid. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Water tower project?
This is an amendment for Stockwell Engineers. They're our consultant out there doing the inspection. If you remember, we gave the contractor a 3-month time extension. Those were for reasons of just like labor shortage, COVID, that sort of thing. This is amendment to kind of cover those 3 months, because whether the contractor's out there working really hard or barely at all, they still have to have pay applications and inspection reports and that sort of thing. I will say Stockwell is doing a really good job with their billing, so I really don't see them using a whole lot of this. We're sitting really well on their fee. And then there's going to be a change order because they're not able to paint the water tower this year. So we're trying to keep this all separate because it's going back and forth with insurance. So there's going to be another change order with the contractor for a time extension, which means there'll be another amendment with Stockwell for a time extension. And then we'll have to sit there and look at liquidated damages and that sort of thing. So we're trying to keep this all separate. There'll be a few steps in here, but hopefully we don't end up paying for a lot of this in the end.
Look for motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the water tower project engineering amendment. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Golf course booster station removal.
I got a quote from First Rate to take the old golf course booster station out of line. We haven't used it probably since 2006 or prior, and that was used to feed the water tower that used to be over by the golf course before. Well, the water tower was taken down before 2006, so it's just time to get rid of it. I'm a little concerned with the constriction it might cause too with the AVB building up there. So, because it's 4-inch pipe going through there instead of the 12-inch that we have coming up to the rest of the building. So I'd like to get rid of it, and I want to say it was 54.8 that they had put in there for a bid. They said they would try and do it a little later this fall, so hopefully. It's actually right down from the tee box out. What number is that, 10? It's right down in the ditch, in the drainage way almost, so. There's a few things inside there that we can salvage, like control cabinet stuff, but the piping and everything in there has been in there since, I can't even remember, 96, I think they put that in, 92.
I assume that doesn't cause any interruption to water flow up to the country club area?
No, we'll still have the booster to feed around to the east side of town. The only one it might affect would be the golf course itself. But I talked to them and we tried to get it set up so it would just be a quick shutdown. Might be 2 small shutdowns, but that's why we're trying to do it in the fall too, so they're not as busy, so.
Okay, look for motion. Motion and a second to do the booster station removal at the golf course. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thanks for cleaning that up, Ron.
Any need for an executive session?
Nope. And then we've got leaf drop-offs on Saturday, October 22nd, November 5th, and November 19th down at McCarty Park. And then we will start trimming trees east of Split Rock, starting around October 17th. So those are trimming the boulevard trees.
I've been asked about a branch drop-off too. Do we have a branch drop-off
Yes.
scheduled?
October 22nd.
October 22nd.
Okay. And we'll publicize that?
Yep, we'll get that out.
Okay. All right. Any other business?
That's it.
Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Second. Motion and second to adjourn the meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.